4 players stacked up on this B site, and an early look here from the guard as they get spotted out by this guiding light.
Oh, and it's an immediate push from 0-0 all the way over to, towards A. This is so confusing here, especially for Tex. Tex has no idea what to think about this push, and GUARDvs00NATION is able to absolutely capitalize.
A very quick reaction here from the guard as well, realizing the push towards Showers. They get onto the B site here, but look at the control here GUARDvs00NATION have in towards Hookah. It's a pretty vital focal point on this retake. Oh!
2 birds, 1 stone. 1 burst from BZN, picking up both Trent and Valen. Jonah P and Nets needed to somehow scramble this one away. It's just going to be an absolute war that they just have to take away. Whatever gun battles that they can take, Jonah P does his job in taking away 2. Now it's Net.
Just leaving it onto him, Net. This is not the way you wanted if you were the guard to open this LAN debut up here on the international stage, at least for someone like Tex. Again, a lot of these players have been here, but GUARDvs00NATION picking up the first round, a little bit risky of a play from the guard. And it's a guy like BZN, someone who the desk was highlighting, and we will continue to highlight. Plus 20 on the KJ against 9Z here. And the guard kind of risking the push in towards defender spawn purely because, right, you don't have that hookah control. You need to find space elsewhere, and GUARDvs00NATION, we can already see glimpses of an aggressive start. They push towards Showers, get that deep map control, and it's something the guard are probably prepared for. But I think GUARDvs00NATION are certainly even more prepared for what the guard have. And
but yeah, I guess you could say prepared, but what was that look that we saw yesterday? Again, GUARDvs00NATION, they did not pull off moves like we just saw in that last round.
It was a lot of, you know, preparation against 9Z. I think the desk kind of highlighted how well prepared GUARDvs00NATION looked, and against a team like the guard with so much information, you should be more prepared, but you're not in an eco round.
But what is going on here? The guard, they're able to sweep away 2 players fairly easily. No trades coming back towards their favor. It's a 2-man advantage for the guard potentially on a post plan. If they can actually get this down, though, they are struggling. Valen almost taking on a wall bang, and even then he still goes out swinging. Xion giving himself a chance. But a thrifty for the guard. Something
today with these thrifty rounds. I don't know what's happening. First, we got our first series with like 4, 5, 6 thrifties between both of those teams. And then here, the guard right off the rip are going to bounce back. An instant swing around. Numbers overwhelming that Showers defense. And then that post plant taking 2, 3 players swinging onto a player's backside. Guard winning out the team fight. And this is a team built around family, fighting together. The coordination, the chemistry, it's brimming within this roster. They've been in LAN environments before, and it's something that when I was going into the series, I was expecting a much cleaner opening day for the guard. And so we'll have to, again, temperature check on the way the guard are playing and how comfortable they're looking in their seats. I remember when it was Reykjavik, it was Trent that talked about after the event that he wasn't in a comfortable spot because normally he plays like very light music, but they didn't allow that. And so obviously he's probably had to make adjustments in preparation for this. BZN single rifle, getting an early pick here. As GUARDvs00NATION continuing that aggressive stance in these opening defensive engagements.
And they're just holding the positions that they fought for early on, really trying to bait in 0-0, potentially make a misstep, establishing a player over towards Showers, establishing their players over long. But 0-0, again, they've done the exact same. They did the exact same thing over towards the pistol round.
You probably see an early TP here as well from the guard. I just think the control that Tex has, if guard can't win this fight here, specifically Net in towards Hookah, you kind of have to bail from this side. That's a very well-timed poison orb.
Oh, and Net almost gets caught by the flash. Almost a very good play coming out from Xion, and Xion still gets a chance at the frag, even though one comes back for the guard.
And Shen will just try and buy a little bit of time. Maybe he gets this kill. That's a big whiff.
Still has a little bit more to go. Still 4 bullets left and a couple of heads to aim at. But Tex takes him down, cuts the bleeding early. Still a 3v3. Make that a 2v3. Xion, what a shot.
And Jonah P will be forced to engage. You can see the crossfire. Trent and him are holding for short.
Oh no, the classic, the classic. Wins Bartine the battle, but now Trent starts a 1v3 off with a clean kill onto Bartine. Both players stepping in. They have 1 piece of utility, but it's 1 bullet that does it again. Xion sharp.
And once again, another thrifty round. Both of these teams back and forth. I think GUARDvs00NATION really good at isolating these guard in these individual fights, like that first pick out towards long, and then Net, I think, getting a little bit too eager, and I think this is a risk. Yes, you have confidence in the ability to play these anti-ecos. It's something that guard are typically pride themselves on, is how confident, how cool they look in these anti-ecos, not giving up these 1v1s, but Net giving his life up. You just chip away very slowly at the guard, and the positioning as well that GUARDvs00NATION established early in this round works extremely well in their favor. The guard, we will finally have our first right from, because the guard won their own thrifty round. Both economies kind of very similar states at this point in time. This is a big swing round economically for both of them.
DZN taking on so much pressure. The guard putting on, again, a bit of that mileage, a bit of that pace, just to try to shock 0-0. And there you go. The change up from 0-0, excuse me, from the guard ends up working out, at least to take up the B side very cleanly. And there's no map control here for 0-0.
And there's not a lot of areas to retake from, especially with our team so far away. Shan will try and have to make something happen individually, but 3 players here from the guard, they're looking very, very sharp, and a really nice refined round from them to take that hookah control.
TPE can go for a little bit more of a risky peek just to try to open up elbow, but there's 3 players there. The trade potential is unbelievable. But Shan, he doesn't even utilize the TP, and he ends up getting 2 somehow. 2v2, make that a 1v2 with Net picking back another one. But Shan pops out of elbow, and now it's Valorant 1v1. Can Shan find the head? Oh goodness, Shan pulls it off, and he doesn't have time. You could barely see a millisecond where that orb popped, but Shan calls it out and runs away. Close milliseconds there for Shan.
Individuality from GUARDvs00NATION goes crazy. Shan with a 4K to make that round even remotely possible. He had 3 players over towards elbow, and he still finds a spray transfer to get a double.
Yeah.
And the guard very quickly needing to adapt. That was a very nice set piece in towards hookah. The 3 rounds that we've seen prior to that 4th was double hookah control every single time coming out from GUARDvs00NATION. And this was the round that the flood works for the guard because they put so much pressure in towards hookah. I think it was GUARDvs00NATION quickly trying to change their setup, leaving only just one there. 2 ultimates getting called, 3 ultimates getting called. The Viper's Pit, the Orbital Strike, and the Tour de Forces. Brimstone all getting used to take showers control.
Here comes the Trailblazer right behind it. Shan is able to pick up the
What?
first, and the Showstopper doesn't connect. The tracking, and now everyone else from the guard halted in their tracks. Again, a Viper's Pit in their face, but Tex has an opportunity to burst his way out potentially back into mid, but Xion hold it down, and now the guard once again are boxed in right into A. Shan still finds Jonah P, but no, Nets. Falls right into RZ.
Some pretty incredible pressure from GUARDvs00NATION. Popping the Viper's Pit and then immediately having 3 players push down to try and crunch these players in this market area. And GUARDvs00NATION, one thing we praised yesterday was their incredible set pieces at times. Like, I felt this was a very well-orchestrated team.
Yep.
On Fracture, a lot of really nice plays. We saw Rolling Thunders, forcing players into one another. The same effect is here with that Viper's Pit. You're hoping that that Viper's Pit is going to force players from guard to kind of just sit back for a second. And in the meantime, 3 players are running down towards long. And the guard, they should be prepared for those kind of set pieces. I think if anyone was watching the other day, you could definitely tell it's a GUARDvs00NATION team that have made adjustments coming into this event. They look a lot more refined, as we've been saying.
Again, a lot of their plays we just didn't expect to actually be so organized or to actually have some sort of objective to them. Usually it was more just like feelers. They would send out 2, 3 as a group, as a pack, and then be able to react off of that. What we ended up hearing from the desk was their adaptability, and that was one of the things that at least kept 0-0 at the top of Brazil. Even though they didn't have the right idea at the beginning of rounds, they have the players, they have at least the preparation for them to be able to react. But at least for now, the guard, we haven't really seen them in too many opportunities to be able to really force GUARDvs00NATION into those types of scenarios.
I'll say the defense has always felt a lot more comfortable, in my opinion, from GUARDvs00NATION. They have a lot, again, of really cool set pieces that we're going to continue to see. And I'm interested how Shan is, again, going to use his chamber. Like, he hasn't done anything crazy just yet. Like, he's not going for those aggressive peaks using his op, or at least playing around the rendezvous and his anchor point. The guard will just have an eco here to work off of. And once again, GUARDvs00NATION establishing a lot of early control. They get showers, they get short. The theme that will continue to remain for the remainder of this event. But the adjustment that they've made is they use very good utility. Like, they normally just send Shan in to fight, but he's on the chamber this time around, so you don't have that ability to have a very confident player like him just taking solo swings.
And Xion, right after the contact beat, going in for some frags. And all 4 fade away. in the hands of Xion. Tex, the last one remaining in a 1v4. Xion looking for the ace. Now it's 0-0.
Oh, denied the ace, thankfully. A little bit of a pride salvation there for the guard. They come off the tack timeout with a change. We've seen a lot of B approaches from the guard. And now I wonder if we'll see an A hit. It looks like there is some semblance, and we'll see if maybe Trent wants to go very quick in towards showers. This isn't his usual agent. I think the reason why they made this comp change is because, well, we saw for a time Trent be comfortable on Rays when it was Josh RT stepping in. They actually don't go for a showers play. He's out towards long this time around. But there's a little bit of a contest from both sides in showers. So there's a flash for Jonah P just to show presence.
Oh no, they hold up though. Was there any information off that guiding light? 0-0, they're still jump peeking it, but that is purely because they just don't know what the presence is. Back over towards B long, potentially. Nobody else from the guard really acts. Tex, he doesn't want to go for a dry fight on his own over towards Hookah.
And I like this change up from 00Nation, not getting aggressive in Hookah or long after the timeout. And that's a trap play that gets one onto Trent.
And Artzine didn't even hit the TP. He still sticks around, and he even has a teammate over there, even if he does. Tex stepping up into Hookah. Finally, Hookah getting opened up by the guard, but they back out immediately. 0-0.
I've got all this control over towards showers. And it will be the guard that are forced to fully re-clear this space. A really nicely timed Seekers will give the info, and you can see how deep it's going. That's why 4 players instantly begun to go to this A site.
It's going to be such a strong hold from 0-0.
They're going back either way?
Yeah, they have time for it. But what's actually the response here? For 0-0, there's nobody immediately jumping out into the TP or immediately going into the rotation. Here we go. It's going to be a couple of smokes. Still a lot of utility here to use for the guard. They still have a molly for the back of sight if they want it, but they don't call out Bartine. Bartine picks up one, looking for a whole lot more. Does his job, though, but Nets! He just got 2 for free!
Just walking in blind, no flashes or anything. And that's a very quick reaction from BZN, trying to punish the Viper's Pit going down.
That is such a huge mistake from 0-0. Now Shand left on his lonesome in a 1v3. He has made it past the pit, and there's nobody in elbow. This isn't actually a bad situation technically here for Shand, but still a whole lot more work to do. Net hasn't even spotted him walking by. Jonah P is going to make his flank over in Hookah too, so he is going to have the angle if Shand does come out of elbow. Good option coverage here from the guard.
I think he's meant for exits.
Yeah, Shand can't go for the defuse, and he still has the Tour de Force too, so why not make the full use of it? But he is going to go down. But again, going back to it, 0-0. They reacted very quickly to that take, to say the least.
There's going to be 2 teams in this event that you're going to give praise to the mid-round calling, and it's 00Nation and the guard. From what we saw yesterday, these are the number 2 teams in their respective regions. And they've always fell behind M8 in the Union because of, I felt like, just slight mishaps. Maybe the mid-round calling wasn't as good as it needed to be. The set pieces weren't there all the time. But now these 2 have kind of hit their peaks going into Ascension. And what will be the key difference maker is this mid-round battle between these 2. And the guard this time around getting the better of them. Baiting the Seekers away, leaning towards A, and then just quickly pivoting back, knowing there was going to be a rotate for 0-0. That's just the play style that 0-0 go for. Quick rotates.
0-0 this time, though. Not a lot of early information. They're not exactly making any of that early movement that they're used to. They're keeping these players on site. The util's already pulled out by the guard. They're already pulling up over towards that showers position, but a good molly and a need essentially pulls them back, forced to utilize a little bit of their utility. But look at the guard. They've already scaled all the way up into U-Haul. Net on the front side looking for the Trailblazer. Great patience from Net, but look at the rotation from 0-0. Almost everyone is here.
Site. This is where they have the most success on their retakes, is they have this back site control. You can see guard are trying to bait peaks.
They faked it. They could rotate, but BZN through the smoke able to get 2. But the Vipers, they filled the kill streaks. 4 kills going back. There goes Valen finally running away. That one fake plant has dragged everyone from 0-0 over towards A.
Not even just the fake plant, it draws out so many peaks from 0-0, but they still come out on top in the 3v2, catching the 1 player rotating, that being Net, through the TP.
30 seconds left.
Valen and Trent.
Fight.
Nothing to use. ZN picks up the orb to try to help out that little bit more. Again, they have nothing other than that one orb to cover up their tracks.
Very split apart.
It gets split open. Valen goes down in an instant. Trent now starts to dance. BZN breaks in. Trent gets another one. Can he pop the head of the last? Bartine instead picks up the last to evade what was almost a disaster for 0-0.
And this is just the perfect semblance of how this series is gonna go. So many multiple 1v1s, like I think there was one in round 2 as well, round 3 I think actually. The Guard and 00Nation are just incredibly evenly matched in that mid-round calling and understanding one another. These are two teams that come into this event extremely prepared. As you can see the way Guard worked that post-plant situation on A. They tapped the spike knowing that this was a 00Nation team that had full backside control, and they baited out 2 peaks. Net was good for a double. That ultimately led 00Nation to get a little bit flustered. But again, a 1 versus 1 is what decides it. Both teams understanding one another at a great macro level.
BZN stepping in with a guiding light, but Trent, Jonah P, he had to be fully flashed there. Trent now coming in to try to help out. It is smorgasbord of frags, to say the very least. 6 going down in an instant, back over towards the long area. 0-0 come out of it with a positional advantage. The Guard currently split up, trying to find their gap. But no matter what site they go to, either they're going to run into 2-0 or a split. So it's not exactly bad odds here for the Guard. Not a lot of utility, however.
They've given up these guns here, 00Nation, to these 2 remaining players, or at least to Tex. This is a round Guard will love to pick up, given the economy position that they're in. Not the best, but certainly can be made do with. Bartine has been such a strong anchor on this B site, but he's alone here for now, and he's kind of forced to fight, unfortunately.
Oh wait, the smoke gives him a little bit more space to work with. It was almost very smart for Bartine as he almost isolated the 1v1 against Tex, but now Shand, an incredibly important rifle in his hands. Don't know if 0-0 can necessarily reinvest into this op if this goes awry for Shand or he doesn't save.
Unfortunately, that smoke not helping him in this retake whatsoever. Just another angle he has to clear. No exits I think he can find here, because there is a TP right here for the Guard.
Backs away.
That's a good spot.
Electing to save the operator, just tossing some util out, so that he will be able to hold on to it. And the Guard with a massive duel down towards long. Again, these are 2 teams that are extremely prepared. Everyone knows from yesterday and from the VODs that they've watched, 00Nation are a team that don't hold back on their defense. They've got those set pieces that will catch teams off guard with their pace and their tempo. And the Guard getting caught off guard there, but being able to recover and get trades helped them out massively, because you split up that 0-0 defense with those 2 players forced to play 1v1s on their site. The ults in favor of the Guard this time around. 3 ultimates, Trent, Jonah P, and Valen. And it looks like instead of going towards Hookah to use it, they're taking the less used route over towards B, and there's a big duel here early.
Could be an insta-pop from Trent. Ardzine getting caught with a Seeker. Same thing with the Trailblazer. Trent around the corner just looking for the free frag. But no, Ardzine denies him. And Ardzine was looking for yet another mid-air. Shan backing on away, and this is a very conservative look from 0-0.
And Shion instantly pushing down. You can already see the crunch that 0-0 wanted. Bartine getting caught off guard, but again, it's backside control here for 00Nation, and the Guard will be looking to bait out some swings.
The repositioning from Shand is actually beautiful here. Does the Guard actually expect the up to be here? They spotted it though, and they back on away.
Timing here for Shion, though. He might catch something. That he broke the trademark, so they are expecting his fight, and I think that's a big misstep from Tex, committing to that fight, leaving Jonah P alone.
It's BZN. You're in the 1v1. It's Net isolated all the way over towards A. Net could be making an absolutely pivotal flank here, but instead, he's just making an exit plan. Here for the Guard, here for Jonah P.
Awareness here from Shen. To understand that they don't have site control, they don't have that back site control, they have to be careful in clearing this area. But once again, the Guard are playing very split apart from one another. No flashes for Jonah P. 2 for Shion.
And Shion can easily get this information onto Net. Yeah, Net is fighting so much here, but Jonah P has his heaven angle. He was able to do so, but yeah, Shion doesn't see him. Shion is hunting, and he's gonna go down to Net coming out of U-Haul. Finally! an advantage here for the guard going into a post plant, and they take it all the way to the bank. The guard had to run a marathon to do it, but they tie it up.
Resetting here, 0-0 as well. Both teams in this cataclysmic battle. It comes down to these like incredible like 2v1 situations, and the guard have had to claw back multiple 4v5s, 2v3s, man disadvantage situations to make this happen. And we talk about the guard not having those land jitters. Tex makes a massive misstep, I think, over towards Hookah, not needing to commit to that fight whatsoever. Not because that I'm not confident that he's gonna win the fight, but because
what a flash.
He leaves Jonah P alone and puts a lot of risk on his shoulders. And so a guy like him who hasn't been on the international stage, he's the one guy that I think the analyst desk and we as well will be looking at. Okay, how are the land jitters? Because, and maybe talked about it for those guys being on the stage for the first time, not being used to different environments. It's the same thing there for Tex, 00Nation.
Yep. Calling
their first time out despite us being at 5-5. And them honestly playing a pretty good game so far. Very early aggression shown in every single round.
And it's been very efficient, to say the very least. No matter what we've seen from 00Nation, it's been disciplined. We haven't really seen those individual pushes that we usually would see from a team like 0-0. Any information gathered that comes out from this team early on in the round is supported, and that is just something that you have to appreciate about this 0-0 team. There just isn't any sort of scrappiness to it. It's clean.
The ult cycle still for the guard. Orbital strike, showstopper to work with. The respect should be given to 00Nation here, and these ults will be called upon if needed. 5-man look from the guard towards the B side, and Chan with no tour de force is not going to get like the crazy map control that he wants, but he does have a pretty good view down towards long. And a peek here with a nade from GUARDvs00NATION and BZN.
Xion getting pressured out, but like you mentioned, BZN still here. BZN may have already railed in a bullet or two, but he actually runs right into Tex. Free rifle for 0-0, and potentially just a way to cut back the round just a little bit. Maybe give them a chance to take back yet another thrifty on the day. There's been plenty.
Does pick up the rifle, and so yeah, like you said, there's an opportunity for him to make something happen. One player, there's a lot of 1v1s, which scares me from the guard.
It's Net compensating for this. They cleared out Hookah, Net clears the angle, and Valen, he utilizes the orbital strike, but it's his bullets that ends up getting the kill. 2 kills under Valen's belt. The guard at least confirm a tie scoreline going into the next half.
And it does show the respect that these two teams have for one another, both using ultimates even in their anti-eco rounds. The guard needing, maybe not needing to use the orbital strike, but certainly helping them win out that round. And then the last round of the half, Shan does pull out the operator. This time around, the ults favoring the 00Nation side, getting close as well into Barthin's orbital strike. We could see another set piece of GUARDvs00NATION and his showstopper. It wouldn't be out of the question to see Xion set him up with a flash. And he is in a position towards A, but instead the Viper's kick getting popped early. And control established from 00Nation on 2 different lanes.
Tex, this is so risky, and he knows it. Oh, a pixel was spotted by Shand, but Tex snags him away instead.
Jumps across off of the flash getting sent.
But that's such an important 1v1 for Shand to win there.
Yeah, and there was risk there for Tex to take that peek. I think he was hoping there wouldn't be no one there, but he definitely swings off it. And expecting someone there, finds that pick. 4v5 here for 00Nation to work against. They were successful in these because of how good they are in team fights. We'll see how well they adapt here as Trent tries to lead the charge in towards the Viper's pit.
Oh, he almost calls out BZN and he still ends up getting the kill. Great stuff from Trent, and now the guard. They're not cleanly into A, though. Everyone else is very disconnected back over towards that mid side. So much so that Trent has TP'd back over towards the mid side to potentially pull away another rotation or 2. But the guard continue their way into A. It's GUARDvs00NATION around the corner as the only representative here for 0-0 to actually hold this down. But a molly and an orb in his face. He can't do anything. But Tex, pixels away from hitting that shot. GUARDvs00NATION blows it open right through the smoke. Barthin takes down another one.
Primed already for Barthin. Net's gonna have to get aggressive. He might get one.
Oh, but the aggression gets called out by Barthin. Barthin shuts down the other angle. Net has to go out. And Barthin, The perfect move, knowing that Net had nowhere else to go. 0-0 ties the game up going into the second half.
Recovering the 4 versus 5, and in that retake, they look so well coordinated between these last 3 players. And 6-6 on a map that 00Nation are 0-2 currently. In their history as a team, they haven't won a single game. Both matches they've played going 7-13. And here they've got something to show for it against Guard, a map that they've been unbelievable on as of late. We haven't seen the crazy impact that Chamber's bringing. Shan has had some great moments, Tex I think as well, but maybe not as much. And now with sides flipped, the Guard will have a chance to show why Chamber was picked here for the defensive side. I think has a lot more properties when it comes to the defense, so maybe Tex an opportunity to strut his stuff. But a very early duel again. 00Nation, known for that aggression, will start it off here towards B-Long.
Same thing with the Guard, though. There's so much presence over towards this B side. It's pretty much 4 players here for the Guard. They're battling double over towards that long side. They pull out a flash. BZN does get hit slightly, and they can't make it by a single orb over towards the long side. The Guard still establishing those positions, keeping what they got. Finally, a Trailblazer is there to scale them on in, but the smoke makes things so difficult.
These guys don't fake, so you can see Guard kind of locked into this B side already.
Oh, the nade stops him right in the middle, though. That's a perfect nade. Jonah P takes down GUARDvs00NATION from the middle of the air. Everyone else from 0-0 still stuck. VALORANT getting the big kill over towards Hookah. 3 players over towards Long.
One of the key things will be trying to separate that entry in GUARDvs00NATION from the rest of the pack. And they did exactly that with a very well-timed nade. Guard layering that util almost perfectly. One of their strengths on this offensive side. Denying the retake opportunity here. They're already on the tail of 00Nation, but the spike does go down. This is where the Guard are pretty strong on the defense side.
Uh-oh. 0-0 had a single smoke to use, and it's used at perfection, really. Here comes Xion. Xion able to take down one, needing to take down another. 40 HP remaining for Xion, and he finally goes down. BZN, GUARDvs00NATION, last 2 remaining, kind of playing a crossfire here with one looking over towards Heaven, but they don't have to worry about Heaven at all.
Toxin screen down.
2 over in mid now. Coming up for the short side, BZN, head on a swivel, shifting around the Radiant Knight boxes, but he finally gets tapped away. Great spam to chip him down to low HP. The Guard pull off the pistol.
Guard working really well on that retake together. They have the highest retake percentage in this event at 45%, and a lot of it will be those early duels that we just saw out towards B-Long. Fighting those early engagements, looking to earn themselves an early 5 versus 4 advantage. And on top of that, layering their util. It's a pretty formidable defensive side that 00Nation will have to find a way to crack, especially a team as aggressive as this. It's a clash that we wanted when we first saw M80 versus Union, but we're certainly going to see it here with how aggressive Guard can be.
Why are you so quiet?
And it's something that happens.
Where's the talk? Why are you so quiet?
Whoa!
Look, they're learning the Portuguese as well.
I had no idea these guys had that in them.
They do. They certainly do. I think they're showing Tech the ways of the land.
Ah, okay, I see. Showing them the ropes. All right, the Guard. Let's see if they can really put him into action potentially in this round. The Chamber is going to be stuck up in the back of B with everyone from 0-0 heading over towards that direction. And there's the showcase, a headshot from Tex.
Very powerful play. The way that his Chamber is set up is that he can take pretty aggressive peeks both towards Long and towards Hookah and just get away for free, essentially. The Guard's still with 2 players here, and they've already layered the first snake bite to slow down this push in towards Showers. A nade here is all for Trent. This is the Guard layering their util almost perfectly here to slow this 00Nation push down.
0-0, again with the pistols, bunching themselves up, taking even more time and would have needed to actually shift the rate back over from Showers all the way over towards Short, but they are inching their way up into U-Haul. They do scale up in a pretty good way. There goes Trent, at least with one. Valen could have a bit of a gift here right in front of him with the Spectre, but not able to get a whole lot.
Oh,
no! Unfortunate. And Net catches them all.
And the pistol and the following, no thrifties for either of these teams so far. 00Nation will pick up the rifles. And now we'll see that clash of how quick 00Nation will be on their offensive side, the tempo that they're going to bring against the Guard, and how the Guard will plan to deal with it. It's something that teams have struggled with when they first face against this Brazilian style, that aggressive style that maybe these NA teams, these LAM teams aren't used to just yet. And it'll be interesting to watch like these rematches, what happens as well.
Hey, that was really good. Nice shot. You could have.
That was a good shot.
Dude,
It was a good shot.
Dude, you're getting in their head. I don't think, and you know what? I think Vance put it perfectly. Like the Portuguese players probably understand English as well. So you get in their heads.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of these players have played in international squads. They played in North America and other games too. 0-0, stepping up, trying to show no respect. Here to the guard with multiple players coming up that B long side. Once they spot Tex, if they can take him down, take is going to be pretty dang easy. All 4 players over on this A side pretty much pushing into showers, except for one. Tex finally goes down and the B take is on.
This time he doesn't get away off the anchor point. It's in a different spot as well, so he could play the retake with his team. He just wanted to pick the anchor on the right side instead. So 0-0 will have time to set up for this post. And this is again where they're extremely strong. Shan even having a great idea since the flank is coming.
Oh, Shan! He almost calls it out perfectly, and he actually escapes, and he has a second opportunity at the spray. Beautifully done from Shan. It's Jonah P. Stuck in a 1v4 again. The guard, and nothing to really work with.
Out of bullets.
Other than the half buy, but okay. Jonah P. just picking up the 1. This is, again, any further kills that Jonah P can get, it's actually going to put quite the dent into the economy of 0-0, and you can see Jonah P beaming it over towards spawn.
Something here. Any extra damage would be really nice, but these players not with the most money. As Jonah P ends up going down, he'll be able to buy, but those 2 players definitely in a risky position. As 0-0 Nation picking it up with their first round. We're seeing maybe what they want to do. Again, that refined, aggressive style. Shan playing that lurk. Now that he's on the chamber, we're not going to have those crazy entry storm that we saw the other day. But playing the chamber pretty smart here, recognizing the lurk potential. It's easier to get past these chamber trips and make these lurks happen. And 0-0 Nation seeing kind of this aggressive style from the guard, who are again going to be looking to take these early fights that we just saw down towards A short to get themselves early 4v5s, to establish map control, and to allow themselves easier times on the retake.
Call out of information back over towards that mid side, but 0-0. Just establishing this control right now, potentially pushing the guard off these angles. Not Tex. Tex currently hard holding back over towards the short side. With everyone from 0-0 really just waiting out their moment. Actually be able to strike over towards Shower. Really don't know what their idea is.
And they begin to work back towards B after that Trailblazer gets nothing. They'll just full reclear this B area. And they work back over here towards mid. It's just Jonah P alone in towards Hookah. Both of these players kind of playing isolated duels. It's not a retake setup here from the guard. I think that flash will actually cue the retake setup. Very well timed as well with these Seekers to get the info.
No, and with these Seekers, they can actually reposition themselves back into Hookah potentially. Jonah P, he sits on the outside of it instead. There's no lurk over towards A either for that exit plan.
Over towards A, yeah, in case of Showers. You could see Tex already posting up with the op towards Showers.
Does he have the angle? No, they've actually covered it off with the smoke. The Viper Wall does everything there, but Tex doing it all! 3 kills, no, excuse me, 2 kills coming up for his favor, but out of nowhere, it was BZN to actually line up 2, and Shan doing the same.
Fast runaway as well through this TP, and 0-0 Nation have got a chance to get this spike down, an opportunity to make it happen. Shan just watching the lurk.
Now Valen coming up quickly back over towards the mid side. Shan needing to TP away, down extremely low. Both players low.
Wall bang.
That spray could have gotten both of them. How is that a headshot? Shan again evading bullets by pixels, and Valen is able to clean up the last 2, and he stands up, proving a point to 0-0.
Taking his time as well to talk trash. Again, Valen stepping up huge. These rounds are coming down to these isolated 1 versus 1s. And a massive trade engagement happens on the A side, and that's that mid-rounding once again between these 2 teams. Mid-round adjustments. We know BZN calls the initial shots, but it's Shan. I don't think this time around he's really the one calling the mid-round. Because the way that it would work is that, again, like I think Vance said on the desk, that you're working off of these cues for util. This time it's Artzine probably in that position. I don't think it's going to be Shan this time around. And it maybe is that slight adjustment that is causing these very late plays and these kind of uncoordinated, uncomfortable calls from 0-0 Nation. And the guards certainly feeling the momentum. That's a sling round, and so will this one be. And so this one will be.
0-0 have pulled up with a semblance of a buy here. 3 rifles under their belts. Trent has the crossfire. The crossfire has been broken apart, though. The chamber has been smoked away. 2 players over towards Showers might be isolated. Spike plant going in. It's BZN who's currently flanking over towards Showers.
Really good control here from Tex. He can maintain it. Yes, he can. Same thing over towards Showers here. Look out for this fight from BZN.
A lot more work to do. BZN actually just locks these players over towards Showers instead. Shion takes down Tex, but Valen actually takes back BZN instead. Showers gets cleared up. 0-0 have now been isolated back over towards Short. The guard now start to step on in. Trent picks up the first. Bartine with the molly. It's going to be landing in slowly but surely. No, they don't actually go in for the defuse. Bartine with the firing range, picking up 2, and with the kills, he has the orbital strike. There goes the tick. There goes the ultimate. Jonah P not fighting, still waiting for his opportunity to get onto the spike, but there is no time.
And how, again, have 0-0 Nation pulled off a round like that? It's every single round where the guard find the first pick, they have a strong retake setup, that these crazy kills come through from one individual. This time it's Bartine at the very end who gets those kills and makes this round his. I was wondering how much time that molly buys, and this was a very good round from the guard. They had U-Haul control, they had Showers control, they had almost full site control. They had pushed 0-0 Nation all the way back, and they know that's not a round they should have won. They're not even talking trash back to the guard. They know that that was a round that they weren't supposed to win, and it resets the guard, swinging the momentum back in 0-0 Nation's favor.
The guard give themselves some sort of a chance here going into this round with the tour de force, but he gets shut down incredibly early by Bartine. But Trent, the kill onto BZ, and whoa, the showstopper in for Trent.
Out of charges.
Certainly a bit of a surprise for 0-0, but they still stand on their 2 feet. 3 players alive, 1-man advantage over the guard. Valen pushing the situation a little bit.
I think he wins these.
Oh no.
He definitely wins these.
And Valen's running for a good reason. The big old rocket right behind him.
I like how 0-0 Nation are as well not like running towards A, knowing that they've kind of cleared out B, and this is where the fight's gonna be. They're actually just going for the kills right now.
Yep. Incredible, really, because the guard, there are rifles over towards that mid side that they could have been able to pick up. If anything, 0-0 also trapping them through that too. Lots of respect, to say the least, but also 0-0, you pretty much guarantee some free frags there if the guard do end up stepping into that position. Not just an easy 3v1. Shion still has his Seekers if they want to eliminate sort of that layer of mystery.
There's a little bit of damage that Valen can do. Like, again, 0-0 not out of the clear.
Oh, but Art Scene shuts it down early.
Not meant to happen there. Valen kind of predicted. They had players watching every single angle, I think expecting as well him to come through this market, because that's where the rifles were. So we're tied up here, 0-0 on the guard. Not the titans of their respective regions.
They were hyped up as that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, certainly huge figures in both of their regions. 0-0 Nation. I'm surprised they're not talking that much trash. Like, I know they're a pretty loud team, Shannon in particular.
This is their home, man. This is their studio. They used to talk a lot of trash during the season.
Early Viper's pit here from net out towards long. It will be Tex that pivots back in towards Hookah. This is a 0-0 Nation that are walking up. I think we're going to see the Viper skin get pumped out and Hookah leaking in. It's a pretty old strat, but it's worked here as they got the first on the Tex with the wall going up.
That's incredible. Tex not able to reposition and continue that battle over towards B. Instead, it's literally just net completely isolated on an island over towards his own Viper's pit. Forced to back away, essentially, and there goes the Viper's pit.
Losing that long control as well is going to hurt. You still have to work back and try and clear it. You can see it from Artzine trying to work back long, a flank watch as well from Shen. Only 3 players on site. Artzine kind of not in the mix because of his positioning in this Viper's pit in front of him.
No, Trent! The molly calling him out as Trent was trying to do something cheeky too. Wait for the contact first with 1 HP, but the molly takes him away immediately like a nade.
You have to save here for the guard. Nothing you can really do, but you're losing guns left and right. This is another very painful round if you lose another player here. And Jonah P, rather you run here, to be completely honest. He does stick around to get 2, but it's a risky fight.
Ooh.
And he really just barely gets away with his own life. He already had the ultimate, so there was no need to go for that.
But it works out. That's all we can really rely on. Is Jonah P. And potentially rebuy some of his teammates going into the next round, but it's actually way more disastrous than I thought.
Yeah, guard are gonna more than likely concede a lot of control here to 00NATION, not having the guns nor the utility that they want. Actually, they have a pretty decent buy here. They've mustered the light. I forget about the light armor meta, dude. Like,
Right.
I grew up in the full armor meta. I keep forgetting that light armor is now a thing now.
Yeah, no phantoms on the board either, so 0-0 still very much have that headshot potential.
And Tex up close. This is the first time we're seeing an aggressive look from him towards A.
GUARDvs00NATION, he's going to be on the front side, but look at the positioning here for the guard. 2 players up front, but Xion completely calls out Tex. There's still another person basically out in the open, but the smokes have covered that angle completely. There goes a Molly to try to cover up the plant. It actually works out. Molly alongside the nade to delay just a little bit more.
But they've committed pretty heavy into this A side that 00NATION, had they maybe had a lurk towards B, they could take a TP here.
That peek was mad from GUARDvs00NATION, and now he's still going forward.
That's
and
a
here
great
comes
spot.
Trent. What a jump peek from Trent.
Just shutting Xion down, and now we've evened things out here. There's a flank as well. He's taking the long route here. The guard have done a phenomenal job of buying time, but maybe it's all for naught here. Still Shan sticks around.
Valen was trying to call him out too. Valen was
They work
watching.
back into him, Nets!
No, Ned might have it all. The footsteps. 1, 2, 3. Ned catches them all.
Spike down A.
It's only Shand in a 1v3, but Net again catches 3 in front of him, not looking in his direction, and 00NATION are left packing.
That long flank from Net, setting themselves up for 3. And there's that trigger discipline. That is exactly, I think, because we know what's happening, but Net doesn't, and he waits extremely patiently. The first player doesn't check, second player doesn't check. Wait for a third and maybe more if there's another. And he's so calm there. And the guard, very fortunate due to his positioning here.
Oh, look at the aggression. The guard now pulling out their own attacking look over towards the long side. 2 more players around the corner for both 0-0 and the guard. But there goes the swing from GUARDvs00NATION. So aggressive is Bartine. He actually does get a trade off of that, luckily enough, through the smoke. But Net doing the exact same.
And the second time we've seen that very heavy long engagement. Tex was left alone to anchor the A side, so there would have been problems if they had gone A. He's been getting picked off through smokes. Like, last round was the 3rd time that I've seen it happen. Spots the barrel as well. Can he get the headshot? Shan, not enough. And there's a great TP exit. But Shan at chamber himself, he knows exactly where he's posted.
Great call out. Shan's now waiting for his own opportunity to potentially take down Tex, or Tex, of course, he could also wait for his own TP. The Viper wall of 0-0 actually helps out the guard here. Net.
Shan in a pretty poor spot with this operator. He's stuck in towards U-Haul of all angles. But does he catch the cross? No, he doesn't.
BZN slips in. There's no Molly here for BZN. They even spray through the wall. They're not checking his angle, though. BZN. 25 HP. I was about to say, the chance is dwindling off of that wall bang from Tex. 1v1 after, though. But this is a huge round to win here for the guard. 0-0's economy. It's pretty much in the dumps.
We'll see the buy here in a second if Shan has got the ult. He doesn't, not even close. This time around, there's not gonna be that light armor full Vandal buy, but it looks like they're risking it. BZN already forcing up from what we just saw. And that early long engagement, again, the clash of these 2 teams continues to be a muscle battle, especially that long air. This is the 2nd time we've seen it. And the guard on 11. 00NATION forced to call the final timeout that they have in their pockets to try and make specifically a buy here work. Giving 12 to the guard, you're working for overtime instead of the win. And I think that's a big mental shift for 00NATION. So trying to figure out what the buy here is, what the play is going to be to try and keep guard from getting 12. They've been successful with these kind of lighter buys, but not on their, I feel, their favorite side for the 00NATION aggression, which is the defense. I feel their success with these kind of set plays and set pieces is always on the defense. We haven't seen those very aggressive 5-man rushes sending someone like GUARDvs00NATION or Shan all the way up.
Well, that's the point, right? We're looking at pretty much a new look here from 00NATION. They're usually used to, of course, Shand being an extremely explosive, very well in terms of movement, but they're depending on GUARDvs00NATION instead.
On the other side, this bind map is typically where I feel they have struggled on the attack, like specifically against teams that will actually muscle back against you when in those major lanes like showers and long. They kind of will sit back and play a default, which is not the typical 0-0 Nation style that I feel they're used to. And this isn't a map that they're, I think, accustomed to. Again, they've only played it twice in their history, and they've lost both of them.
0-0 starting this next round.
They're risking everything in this round as well with the bye.
Incredibly slowly, but like you said, they have to be careful.
Valen making a quick rotate, seeing if he can get in a position for the orbital strike in towards U-Haul, but he's not able to.
Might be a little bit late.
He holds on to that, just tries to wait for the plant.
With the Trailblazer, though, that might give some false information here to the guard, but no, 0-0. They've already been putting out utility over towards U-Haul. They put out a boom bot.
The spike, yeah, to bait out this orbital strike, and Bartine will get it. That's a great combination. He might go down to it, and he does.
The nade does everything there. Well done. BZN! Looking for a shocker of a kill over towards Heaven. Goes for yet another fake just to try to see what util comes out. It's just the molly that comes out. Guiding Light trying to help out, but doesn't hit anyone. Again, 45 seconds left. The guard have all of their options covered there. There's a player all the way over towards B. There's two, actually. 0-0. They can still battle back for A, and it's actually pretty possible. There's only two players here. There goes the nade back over towards Showers, and the molly to try to cover up the plant. Doesn't end up getting the kill.
Not a lot of util here for 0-0, and they've grouped 3 players up in towards U-Haul. There's no util to flush these guys out, like no Trailblazer, no flash.
It's 2 in there at the moment. Artzine waiting for the first contact, but Jonah P shuts him down immediately. BZN is there for the second tap. All 3 players here for 0-0 over towards the short side, and it's Shand alongside Xion to get 2 kills.
He's alone, Jonah P.
2v2, but Shand actually gets cut down. 60 HP left for BZN. No util, but 21 HP. BZN has given himself a golden chance, but Net, he's just straight up going for the defuse. BZN doesn't know where Net is, but dropping the orb is absolutely beautiful. Plays the 50-50 and wins it out for 0-0.
And he has been such a key figure in this any success that 0-0 have had on their defense and even on their offense with his lurks. He pulls up a massive clutch. He had a great performance yesterday against 9T, going plus 20. And here when his team needs it most, he steps up massively. 0-0 Nation with as well a very murky buy. Like there were 3 sheriffs, I believe, in the mix. Or apologies, 2 sheriffs. The Headhunter and 0-0 Nation, they put a lot, you can see as well with these reactions, on that singular round, and they get away with it. And now it's time for the guard to call a tactical timeout. We knew this series was going to be close, but this first map, a map that we have really never seen 0-0 Nation play, has gone 11-11. We're guaranteed 24 rounds here.
Just incredible, the streak that we've been seeing in the second half. I mean, the guard, it's pretty hot going into the first few rounds, and even with a couple of switch ups later on in the half, trying to catch up with the adaptation of 0-0. 0-0, again, they've had yet another day where a couple of these hero plays have done the business. Yesterday it was Xion alongside Bartine.
And those hero plays are putting a lot of pressure on the guard. They're not talking anymore. They're sitting there quietly listening to Josh RT. And they were in the same boat just a round ago as 0-0 Nation, figuring out what the buy was going to be, and that's what the guard have to do here. The ult cycle heavily in favor right now of 0-0. Showstopper within reach, same thing with BZN.
The investment is disastrous over towards the mid side. Jonah P already utilizing Trailblazer to try to get that information.
Taking the TP to see if he can bait another peek. After getting spotted, he didn't have to take it. He had 4 players with him.
Triple push mid coming in from the guard. They're going to slowly get their way back over towards B now. It's multiple players from 0-0 already making their way out, though. That orbital strike clears out at least a little bit of a path for them, but they still have Elbow alongside the back of site to deal with. And Jonah P, he's right in the front of the tin can. Showstopper coming out, but there's nobody on that side. The guard instead, it's 2 players wrapping their way through mid.
They will get the spike down here. And oh my goodness, it's BZN that breaks it. He wanted to spike Shand here. Shand needs hits.
Oh, he ends up getting the kill anyways. Tex is also coming up. They expected all of these flanks. Well called out by Artzine. Well called out by Shand. And Valen and Net, the 2 players who didn't invest into this round, they step up and they've actually given themselves a little bit of a chance. Net continuing the kill streak a little bit. But that's all that the guard can say for that round. They'll have a buy going into the next, but 0-0. One away from winning the map.
This was a beautiful round from 0-0 Nation. Again, keeping Jonah P sucked into the hookah play. right? With Shan taking his anchor out, it's hoping to force a swing or to at least keep him in hookah. And that's set up in towards hookah as well for the post plant. As soon as the trademark goes off, BZN is the one that breaks the boom bot, faking that the player is in window, not back of hookah. And that's how Shan finds that kill. And 00Nation in a really, really good spot. There's just enough cash left over because those two players don't buy. They were the only ones that didn't have the cash. And 00Nation, again, the ult cycle was in their favor. The Guard have one of their own here.
The Guard have already utilized it. It's the Viper's Pit over to where Long.
Just got the ult as well. They wanted to use the Viper's Pit to get him onto the ult orb.
It's incredible for the reaction if he can get into a good position, but everyone from 0-0 currently heading over towards A. No ulties on this side.
Maintaining a lot of U-Haul control here. GUARDvs00NATION has been going in here constantly.
Exactly. There's pretty much 3 players here. There was one watching the back of sight just in case anyone came over U-Haul, but here comes GUARDvs00NATION finally breaking in. Boombot not finding anyone.
Too much.
But there was 2 players watching that angle, and like you said, just a little bit too much, almost getting punished for it. But the showstopper shuts down Xion, but not the Viper's Pit.
And they should know where Net's going to be in this position. The pit hasn't gone down. It's just actually one that takes the TP.
Great movement from BZN.
I'm surprised they don't fully commit to it. BZN still in his pit. There's an opportunity they could fake here. They're actually reworking in towards showers. There's a ping on the map already from the Guard to check that close corner.
They don't know.
Their awareness is actually going to lead to a pretty heavy duel here.
Right, the Viper's Pit has extended all the way deep into showers.
Double flash from Jonah P to make the fights!
And he already starts it off with a bang. Big kill right onto GUARDvs00NATION. And again, he still has the flashes to go if he wants to scramble these players in the middle of the pit. This is starting to look real good for the Guard. What can 0-0 do here? Barteen finally going for the plant. They need to get this down if they want to change.
Get it!
No way! He's stuck off. And Trent comes in. Jonah P in for the cleanup. It's a Zenny flawless to send us to overtime.
And this mid-rounding is an unbelievable clash. It's honestly incredible to watch. I don't know if it's Shan making the calls now that he's on Chamber, if it's GUARDvs00NATION, but if it is Shan, he's bringing one heck of a game to VALORANT right now. And the Guard pushed to their limits. This is a group stage game, by the way, that doesn't matter except for seeding.
Yep.
But we're seeing a beautiful example of these two teams clashing. The NA Titans going at it between their Brazilian counterparts, the Union against M80, and here number 2 versus number 2.
Nothing is guaranteed in their group, though. 0-0 do not want to face M80 by any means. They want this win, try to get that first seed, try to get safely into playoffs. Overtime between these two already starts now. 5 players on A.
Very heavy contest from the Guard towards showers. That's something that they've done typically is send Trent up here.
Barteen taking on the pressure. It's going to be the nade right in front of him. He still has a little bit of
util. They love to do this. These Brazilian teams are so crazy in front of the smokes.
How is Barteen still alive here? He stayed safe the entire time, but Barteen and GUARDvs00NATION finally make their way out, and it somehow techs actually both of them.
A quick reaction from the Guard. Just seeing the sucked-in play from 00Nation towards showers. They just quickly catapult over towards A, knowing there's going to just be one on site. And all it took was a little bit of contact showers. The Guard not overextending, just keeping players there so that the exit happens.
Jonah P. Luckily catching Xion right as Xion skates his way into the spawn. And now BZN just needs to go for this. Trying to give a bit of a miracle here for 0-0. Both players over towards short at the moment. This Molly could actually cut off a couple angles if he wanted to, but he doesn't do anything with it. Tex actually pulls out the tour de force and it ends up forcing him out, and that Molly actually does help him out a little bit. Jonah P trying to skate on out again, and he does so. The Guard up in overtime.
Pretty good time there as well from Jonah P. They will have map point now here, the Guard. And doing a switch up over towards showers again. Huge praise to just 2 players, not overcommitting Jonah P and Trent, at least keeping players from 00Nation locked in towards showers. And they just sit around the smoke like no one swings through. I got scared because Barton got really, really close to it, and its Brazilian teams love to play in front of smokes. But now 00Nation will have their work cut out for them. The success was in those 2 rounds where they just made those full exits happen, right? The typical 00Nation style, but defaulting this time.
Deep orb. Net to establish the control over towards the long side. They can leave the sky there. Have the Viper watch out for hookah instead. The Guard have established 2 over towards the short side at the moment. 0-0. They have no idea about this information at the moment. In fact, Jonah P, he's gonna fish.
Good. What? Really good guiding light. Just wanted the info. He gets punished. I think overextending. And that will spur 00NATION into action. Net's been a pretty good anchor all season long.
The guiding light doesn't hit. Net steps up. That's actually a beautiful reposition from Nets. If he had the time to do so. Trent, that spray is insane. Almost taking away Shan. Somehow taking away BZN on top of the site. Through the smoke.
Oh my god!
That shot was so close, but Valen ends up taking away another one instead. And Valen just mows away everyone in front of him. And the guard on the brink of dropping yet another map to a Brazilian team. They at least stay alive here.
The guard pushed to their limits here in map number 1. Again, not a map that we see 00NATION play, and it's at the very end. Valen coming up again with a massive hero play. He had a 2 versus 1, and at the very end, he finds 2 players with their backs turned. Huge props to 00NATION as they did put up a very strong showing against the guard here in map number 1.
Yeah, realistically, everyone that we saw pop off yesterday popped off in this game. EZN, Barteen had their games, had their moments, especially Shand. To see a little bit more of Shand on that defensive side though. But again, there were multiple factors to this game. We didn't really know what the calling structure was like for this team. We didn't really know how they were really kind of pinching or what they're... Thank you.
There you go, bud.
Didn't know what they were trying to pit their attacks really on or really any of their exits on. Again, really wanted to see a little bit more of Artzine on that raise, but in the end, again, the guard do show their levels.
Very excited to see what they have cooked up for us. Again, we got the double chamber here, mirror compositions, a lot to break down, and the analyst desk will have the answers for you.
Quite a series, and it's only map 1.
Oh my god.
They go the distance in map 1, and it was a map that we came into this framing this as, yes, it should be a close series, but Bind was going to be a difficult hurdle for 00NATION. And even though they do lose in the end, they had tremendous amount of grit to keep it that close, given that, again, they just don't really play this map a whole lot. It's definitely a comfort pick for the guard. And yeah, they closed things out, but that was very exciting to watch. The energy back and forth. I'm amped up, fans. I'm ready for map 2 already.
Dude.
Can we skip the break? Can we just roll right into it?
I don't even know how much time we have actually right now to like break down this map, because he had everything that we wanted to, like we were asking for in a series to start things off. Like both teams wanted to prove a point, wanted to make a statement, and it was just super nice to watch like the chess match between everybody. And I don't know where to start. And I think maybe the first one is gonna look at the, you know, we talked about the Net versus BZN and the Killjoy versus Killjoy, but this time we're both playing Vipers, and it really went neck and neck, where it was a Viper on Viper, 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 from BZN that won in clutch round number 22, and then Net actually got that 3K from, you know, Trigger Discipline by hearing the extra footsteps out of BZN to get that 3K. I mean, it was intense. It was amazing.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1vx scenarios played out across this first map. 3 4Ks as well. All of them for 00NATION. An incredible series, and honestly, you know what, man? The trash talk just made it that much better.
Oh, yeah.
I know that some people maybe have a bit of a distaste for it. I love the fact that
awesome.
teams are getting hyped up, because it's both sides, not just one team. It's not like we're like the great when they trash talk. I love seeing the teams get energetic. It shows that they have a passion for their craft, for their work, and you can see it play out here as the teams go head to head, and it ends up being very close, even considering that there's somehow, you know, a misbalance of first bloods that heavily in favor of the guard.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this was game of trade after trade after trade. There was so many rounds where it wasn't multiple kills. It was guard eliminate 00NATION and the other, and back and forth. There were so many rounds like that, and it was so exciting to watch, especially once we swapped over to the second half. It was a battle. I felt like the guard was playing on their attacking side beautifully. Their mid round was so good. They would start on one side of the map and they would utilize the TPs, go to the other. Usually the site would be open or just a person there. So many good plays individually and clutches. For instance, Valen on round 16. He got a 1 versus 2. He did such a good job on catching them, dropping out of hookah, winning that clutch. I mean, that round was crucial. If they would have lost that round, the con would have been damaged. So Valen kept him in the game with that particular round, and that's just one of many. It was such a back and forth game.
Exactly. I think I could continue on to talk about like the mirror matches and the mirror matchups, because we had, of course, a mirror comp on both ends, and the other one is going to have to be Shanji and Tex. At this point, we both talked about, or on the desk here, we talked about both of these players being comfortable now on a Jet, stepping away here from a Chamber. Now Chamber comes back into the meta, and I could never be more excited, because you know what I could say again? To the fuss, to the fuss, to the fuss. So it's so cool, man. It was nice to see that they were both on top and comfortable in that very well. Tex getting much more value on the defensive half than Shandy did, and which is why it allowed this close game and this comeback in the end from the Guards to win this game. But also, last but not least, the Sky versus Sky here from both Jonah P